You are here, right now, because something bigger than you decided it was time. Maybe you think it was just a random click, a casual curiosity, but in truth, it was a vibration, a hidden code that guided you to this very moment. And that alone should leave you in awe. Surprised? You should be. Because the deeper truth is this message could not have appeared to you before you were ready to hear it. It's as if the universe has been quietly waiting for you to wake up from a long sleep. Think about how many things you've scrolled past today, half-interested, cold, detached, indifferent. Social feeds, endless videos, background noise, another routine day where nothing seems to matter. You've become numb, like so many of us, a bit jaded, a bit unimpressed by anything. But this is different. This moment, right here, breaks through that wall of numbness. There is something about these words that feels strange, almost electric, stirring a part of you thought was gone. Maybe you even feel a slight resistance, a weird discomfort, as if your mind wants to dismiss it, call it silly, call it woo. But there's a deeper part of you that knows that something is about to change. That cold layer of apathy, the stale routine, is being pierced by a spark of wonder you haven't felt in years. You might be wondering if it's even safe to let that wonder grow. After all, it can feel dangerous to hope, to believe that reality might be more than what you see. But stay with me, because right now there is a shift happening and you can sense it. You've seen how the world has started to look stranger. The coincidences pile up. Patterns repeat. Reality seems to echo you in subtle ways. At first, you might have ignored these signs. After all, we're trained to be skeptical, to stay in control, to laugh off anything we can't measure. But something in you is tired of that cold skepticism. Something in you is ready to feel again, even if it means risking disappointment. That's what makes this moment so shocking. You realize there is no going back. You can't unsee it. The old ways of being, scrolling, numbing, ignoring, are starting to collapse. And that collapse is a gift, no matter how harsh it might feel. Because as you let go of that deadened apathy, a door is opening to a different kind of experience. One where you feel fully alive, where awe and wonder are no longer off-limits, where mystery is not an enemy, but a teacher. This is the hook. It is meant to pull you away from your comfortable, half-dreaming state. It is meant to shake you, to surprise you, to remind you that life is much more extraordinary than you have been led to believe. And yes, it may taste bitter at first, to break through your numb habits. It may feel like disgust, like a refusal to keep living the same small story. But what if that resistance is the beginning of something magnificent? Look around you. The patterns are shifting. The air feels charged. And somehow, you already know that this video, this message, is a sign. Not a random one, but a coded invitation. You were meant to hear this. You were meant to break through. And this is only the beginning. There comes a moment, sooner or later, when the weight of it all catches up with you. You look around and realize that the rules you were taught, the endless striving, the pressure to dominate, the rigid plans, they have left you with an ache inside. It's a disappointment so quiet you can barely name it, yet it poisons your days. That sadness, that sense of something missing, echoes in your chest every time you work harder and harder only to see things slip through your fingers. It feels like a betrayal. You've been told since childhood that if you just tried hard enough, controlled every variable, sacrificed enough, then success would come. But the more you forced it, the more life seemed to rebel. The effort grew exhausting, your dreams felt further away, and somewhere along the way, you lost something precious. Your sense of ease, your ability to trust, your wonder. Maybe you feel resentment boiling under that sadness. A frustration that no matter how carefully you planned, how tightly you gripped the wheel, life still seemed to zig and zag beyond your control. It's enough to make you furious. And yet, even that fury becomes a cage, because it shows you how deeply you still want to control it all. You want guarantees. You want a promise that all your sacrifices were worth it. But no promise ever came. Instead, you started to notice the cracks in the system. The coincidences piling up. The feeling that maybe, just maybe, reality is far stranger and more intelligent than your carefully constructed schemes. That thought is both terrifying and liberating. Terrifying because it means you were never truly in charge. Liberating because you might not have to be in charge after all. And yet the grief lingers. It's a grief for the time you lost, for the parts of yourself you silenced, for the joy you traded away in exchange for stress. That grief is so heavy, it can sometimes make you angry at the world, angry at those who taught you that domination was the only path. You might even feel angry at yourself for believing them, for staying on that treadmill so long. But here is the strange gift, that sadness is a doorway. That anger is a crack in the armor. When you stop pretending it's all fine, when you dare to feel the heartbreak of how you were misled, you create a space inside you. That space, raw, unguarded, honest, is exactly where something new can grow. You might not know how to move forward yet. You might feel exhausted, disappointed, even hopeless. But underneath that pain, something stirs. A question, quiet but undeniable: what if there's another way? What if the tight grip, the endless battle, was never the path to real power? As you sit with that question, you might notice a tiny ember of hope. Faint but real. And that ember is enough. Because if you can face the sadness, if you can feel it without trying to fix it immediately, you reclaim a hidden power. The power to feel, to let go, to trust a larger intelligence that works beyond your mind's plans. And that, perhaps, is the first true step toward freedom. And then something shifts, almost like a window being cracked open after years of stale air. It begins with the smallest realization that life has moments of effortlessness, tiny miracles you barely notice. A chance meeting, a word spoken at just the right moment, a decision you made on a hunch that turned out perfectly. These are not random. They are glimpses of what happens when you stop forcing and start aligning. And that brings a wave of happiness that feels almost shocking. Joy after all that tension? It seems impossible, but it is there. A gentle, vibrant aliveness that bubbles up when you dare to surrender. You remember what it was like to trust, to laugh, to flow. And in that moment, you see the truth. You were never meant to hold life in a death grip. Think of the moments you were happiest. Were they the ones where you micromanaged every detail? Or were they the moments when things just clicked, when your heart led the way, and you followed without fear? Those moments of synchronicity, of feeling carried, of being in the right place at the right time, they left you astonished, didn't they? You might even be smiling now, thinking of one of those memories. The day you met someone who changed your path, seemingly by accident. The job you almost didn't apply for but did on a whim, and it transformed your career. The words you spoke without planning, that healed a relationship. These are the proof that there is a deeper intelligence guiding you, if you let it. There's something childlike in that joy, something pure, a happiness that doesn't come from winning, but from trusting. The mind, so trained to conquer, sees this as dangerous. But the heart knows better. The heart sees the wonder in letting go, in dancing with what life brings instead of wrestling it to the ground. You may feel surprised by how powerful this feels. Because it is powerful. Joy is not weakness. It is a force that can change everything, because joy connects you with the field of life itself. It reminds you that you are part of the universe, not separate from it. That wonder you feel, that sense of amazement, is evidence that you are reconnecting with the source. And that source has always been with you. It has only been waiting for you to soften, to trust, to allow. When you do, you enter a flow state where answers appear, paths reveal themselves, and coincidences become so common they hardly surprise you anymore. It's like remembering a language you used to speak as a child. The language of trust, of presence, of yes. And with every step you take into that joy, you move away from the prison of fear and control. You become lighter. You become freer. You become more free. So don't be afraid to smile, to feel that unexpected happiness rise up. Don't dismiss it as silly or childish. That joy is a sign you are coming back to life, and that life, in turn, is coming back to you. There is a moment when you realize that the energy pulsing through you isn't just happiness. It's excitement. A kind of eager, unstoppable enthusiasm that makes you want to move, to act, to live more boldly. Maybe you haven't felt this in a long time, or maybe you forgot what it was like altogether. But right now, it's waking up inside you. It is almost shocking, isn't it? To feel this alive after so long spent in routine, in caution, in planning every move so you wouldn't get hurt. That spark of excitement feels raw, fresh, like a gust of cool air rushing into a dusty room. It makes you wonder, where has this been hiding? It was never truly gone. It was only buried beneath fear, beneath patterns of control and worry, hidden by the armor you wore to protect yourself. But joy is patient. It waits. And the moment you let go, even for a second, it surges back, reminding you what it feels like to be vibrantly, fully alive. This enthusiasm is more than a nice feeling. It is a signal, a clear sign that you are beginning to align with something larger than your own fears. That sense of wonder you feel, as if the world suddenly got brighter, is evidence that you are stepping into a bigger story. Look around. The same world is here, but it seems different. Colors look more vivid. The air feels more electric. People seem warmer, more open. The same situations that felt boring or stuck suddenly seem full of possibilities. That is not magic, it is resonance. When you let go of trying to predict every outcome, you allow the field of life to support you. You become a participant, a dancer, rather than a fighter. And from that place, new paths appear that you couldn't have seen before. The right idea seems to come at the perfect moment. The right people cross your path without warning. Small wonders become daily events. This is the energy of momentum, the feeling that once you say yes to life, life says yes to you. And it is deeply surprising because for so long you believed you had to push, to grind, to sacrifice. Now you see, there is another way. And that realization is like a sunrise inside you. It might feel a little dangerous. The mind will worry, what if I lose control? What if I get hurt again? But the heart is braver. The heart knows that life cannot be lived in chains. To feel excitement is to feel possibility, to let the universe show you its gifts. That's why this moment is so powerful. Your excitement is not random. It is a message, an invitation, a cosmic sign that you are ready to move, to grow, to live more fully. Do not waste it. Let it build. Let it carry you forward. Let it break you free from the stale, the fearful, the overplanned. Because in that enthusiastic flow, you are unstoppable. You become a force of nature. And nature, as you know, is never static. It is alive, it is powerful, and it is always in motion. So breathe in this joy. Let it surprise you. Let it move you. And most of all, let it remind you, you were made for this. As you keep walking this path, a different kind of joy begins to bloom. Not the excitement of a sudden discovery, but a quiet, steady happiness. It is the happiness of seeing how far you have come, of recognizing your own courage, of feeling proud of who you are becoming. It is not flashy, but it is deep, and it carries a powerful dignity. At first, you might feel a pang of sadness mixed in. You look back and notice how many moments you lost, how many dreams you delayed, how many gifts you left unopened because you were too afraid or too controlled to claim them. That regret can sting. It can whisper, why didn't I do this sooner? But don't let that regret dim the glow of your pride. Because the truth is, you are here now. You have dared to wake up. You have dared to release old stories, old identities, old fears. And that is something to celebrate, even if it comes with a hint of sorrow. It is natural to grieve what you lost. It is human to feel that loss. But if you look closely, that sadness is proof that you care, that you are alive, that you are paying attention. People who feel nothing have given up. You have not. You are here, trying, exploring, healing. That is a triumph. And so your happiness grows stronger, steadier. It shifts from a spark to a glowing ember, warming you from the inside out. You can feel proud of yourself, truly proud, because you have stepped onto a path most people never find the courage to walk. You are discovering that there is a different way to live, not through force, but through resonance. When you look back on the old days, it is easy to see how they shaped you, how they tried to break you, how they taught you lessons you would never have chosen. But now you see, Even those painful moments had a role. They revealed what matters. They showed you what you don't want. They made you stronger, more aware, more compassionate. That is the beauty of this moment. You can hold joy and sadness together without denying either. You can be proud of what you have survived and still let yourself mourn what was lost. And from that union, pride in who you are, sorrow for what you left behind, a new kind of power is born. A power that is gentle yet unshakable. This is the moment where you begin to feel whole again. Where you no longer have to split yourself between winning and losing, between happiness and grief. Where you can stand exactly as you are and say, I made it this far, and I am still growing. That is real freedom. It does not depend on perfection. It does not need to erase the past. It simply honors everything you are, flaws, failures, triumphs, and all. And in that honest embrace, you discover a happiness so profound it can carry you forward no matter what comes next. So hold on to this sense of pride. Let it anchor you. Let it remind you that even if you feel sad about lost time, you are still here, still breathing, still capable of becoming more than you ever imagined. That is worth celebrating. That is worth everything. Now that you've tasted this pride and quiet happiness, another layer begins to rise within you, the urge to act. It's as if something inside you refuses to stay still any longer. A spark of enthusiasm that wants to leap into motion. You feel ready to build, to create, to move forward with courage. It's powerful, this sense of momentum. It feels like the universe is nudging you, saying, now, go. And your heart leaps at the invitation, eager to see what you can make of this new energy. But along with that excitement, a shadow follows. Fear. Fear of stepping into the unknown. Fear that if you trust too much, you'll get hurt. Fear that if you act boldly, you might fail. It's perfectly normal. You are crossing a threshold, after all, leaving behind old patterns of safety and predictability that is bound to stir up worry and restlessness. But don't let that fear freeze you. Feel it, name it, and then carry it with you like a lantern instead of a chain. Because fear, when acknowledged but not obeyed, can actually sharpen your awareness. It reminds you to move with care, to pay attention, to respect what is unfolding. In this moment, you are like an explorer about to set sail. The excitement is real. The fear is real. And both are signs that you are alive, that you are on the edge of something that matters. You can choose to see fear not as a stop sign, but as a signpost. This is important. This is new. Let that inspire you. Think of those who came before you, artists, inventors, healers, who dared to act even while afraid. They did not wait to become fearless. They stepped forward despite their trembling. That is true courage. That is true trust. You too can do this. Your enthusiasm is precious. It is a flame that can light the path for yourself and even for others. Let it burn brightly. Let it motivate you to try, to experiment, to reach for something greater than your familiar routines. You might wobble. You might doubt. But each time you choose to move forward anyway, you build a new pattern, one where you respond to life instead of trying to dominate it. And that, in turn, brings you back into harmony with the universe's flow. If you ever feel the fear growing too loud, pause and breathe. Remember how far you have come. Remember that you have already faced bigger challenges and survived them. That memory can soothe your worry, letting the excitement take the lead again. After all, there is a reason you feel this call to action right now. It is no accident. It is a sign that the universe is ready to move with you, that you are no longer alone in your growth. So trust this energy. Let it carry you into the unknown. Let it teach you what only experience can reveal. Because nothing will change if you stay in place. Transformation only happens through movement. Let yourself move. Let yourself try. Let yourself live. As you continue, something beautiful happens. Your movement, your willingness to trust, begins to pay off. You notice the small wins. Moments when things go right without effort, when people respond to your authenticity, when opportunities appear almost magically. A deep happiness starts to grow inside you, mingled with a sense of pride that feels earned, honest, powerful. But then, just as you begin to relax into that happiness, a sudden wave of fear can surge up, almost like panic. What if I lose this? What if I mess it up? What if it all falls apart? It's so human to feel this. After all, you've invested your heart. You've begun to dream again. You've risked being open. The fear of loss is one of the strongest fears there is, especially when you are finally touching something precious. The mind wants to protect you, so it imagines every possible disaster. It creates scenarios where everything goes wrong just to keep you from relaxing too much. But here is a truth worth remembering. You cannot protect your happiness by holding it in a cage. You cannot keep joy alive if you're too scared to breathe around it. Happiness is a living thing. It needs air, freedom, trust. Yes, you might lose it. You might be disappointed. But what is the alternative? To never feel this joy at all? To shrink back into numbness just because happiness feels risky? But you are stronger than that. You have already proven it by coming this far. You have learned to stand in your own pride, to honor your own worth, to trust in your own direction. That will not disappear just because circumstances shift. Take a deep breath and let the happiness be here fully. Celebrate your successes, your growth, your courage. Let yourself own this moment. That fear of losing it will fade if you allow yourself to trust that whatever happens next, you will handle it. Look around and see how far you have traveled. From numbness, to awakening, to taking action, to feeling alive. This is a journey many people never dare to make. You have. You have earned your joy. You have earned your sense of pride. So even if fear shows up, let it pass through you. Don't let it rule you. Don't let it steal what you have worked so hard to feel. When the panic comes, remind yourself, I am capable. I am resilient. I can feel joy without being destroyed by it. That is true maturity. To feel happiness deeply, to celebrate it fully, and to trust yourself enough to keep going no matter what. Let this moment teach you how to relax into the goodness you have created. Trust your path. Trust the wisdom you have grown. And trust that life is not here to break you. It is here to move through you again and again so that you can become even more alive. You are no longer just surviving. You are shining. This is it, the moment of invitation. After everything you have felt, everything you have learned, you are being asked to act. Not just to think, not just to feel, but to step forward into a new way of living. Maybe your heart is pounding right now. That's no accident. It means you know this message is meant for you. That thrill in your chest is the unmistakable sign that you are being called to grow. But of course, there is also fear. Fear of change, fear of leaving the comfort zone, fear of stepping into the unknown. That is completely natural. Remember, every new chapter in your life begins exactly like this, with a mix of excitement and hesitation. That is the true frontier of transformation, the place where your desire for something greater meets your fear of losing what is familiar. It takes courage to answer this call. It takes trust to believe that what lies beyond your current boundaries will be worth the risk. And it takes humility to admit that you cannot control every step of the way. You can only stay aligned, aware, and willing. That's why right now is so important. Because the energy you feel is not just your personal dream. It is a signal from something bigger, telling you the time is right. You have been prepared. You have been refined. Now the universe is asking, what will you do with all that you've become? If you're still here, still listening, still feeling this, then you already know you can't go back to the way things were. You can't keep pretending to be small, or to live in fear, or to stay stuck. Something in you is ready to break through. So let this be the moment you say yes. Yes to trying. Yes to trusting. Yes to becoming the most vivid, most honest, most powerful version of yourself. And don't keep this awakening to yourself. Share it. Bring this vibration into your family, your work, your community. Let the field around you be changed by your courage. Because when one person dares to vibrate at a higher frequency, it inspires countless others to do the same. That is why this is more than a personal choice. It is a collective act. Every time you surrender your fear and choose to live from resonance instead of control, you help shift the world. You help show what is possible when we trust each other, when we trust life, when we trust that there is an intelligence greater than our fear. So I invite you right now, take a breath. Feel your heartbeat. Feel the energy that is moving through you. And know that you are not alone. Countless others are waking up to the same call. If you are ready to go deeper, if you are ready to walk this path, then connect. Subscribe. Comment. Become part of this living movement of trust and presence. Together, we are building something beyond old systems of fear. It begins right now, with your willingness to act. You are the drop, but you are also the ocean. You are the spark, but you are also the fire. So rise, flow, shine. And remember, the universe is waiting for you to join the dance.